Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over another smart ring that I found called the Nova Smart Ring. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know that I've reviewed a bunch of rings, including the Oura, the Ultrahuman, the RingConn, and then Luna as the latest ring. And now there's this Nova ring, which has a lot of cool features that I'm happy to talk about, and there's some quirks. So stick around to find out what my thoughts are on this ring and how it compares to a couple of the other rings. Let's chat. Okay, so let's dive into the app, the Nova Ring app, so you can see what it looks like. So here it is. It looks, similar to the other apps where it has the typical card interface. And sometimes when I open the app, the ring doesn't necessarily always sync up, so I'll need to pull down to make it sync. And we'll see here. See here, here's my activity. Oh, here we go. It's syncing up. So here's my activity for the day. It's still early in the day. Here's my recovery, which again, it's not showing right here on the screen just quite yet. I could put in how I feel for the day, slightly pleasant day, or there's different options, but it's showing, here's the most important. I'm going to be reviewing more from a sleep perspective. So let's go into sleep. If I click it, it'll show me some of the sleep items, and I'll get to that in a sec why I say some of the sleep items. But here, according to the Nova Rings app, it's I slept for 7 hours, 16 minutes. And it does show you, if we go down here, how long I was in bed, my sleep latency. So what latency is how long it actually took me to fall asleep as opposed to just hanging out in bed. So the ring does know when you're actively trying to fall asleep, which I like, as opposed to let's say Ultrahuman. Ultrahuman does not show you latency. I don't know why, but Nova does. And so here I'll show you your sleep stages, your REM sleep, light sleep, and your restful or deep sleep. Now, if we go back, see here, I'm using my iPhone mirroring with my Mac to show you this. There's a button down here. This is the sleep button. So if you click on that, it'll actually show you more. I don't know why the app does that. Why, if I click on the sleep card here, it only shows you some of your sleep metrics. It's almost like a shortcut. But if you click on the sleep button at the bottom, you'll see it'll show you everything just like the shortcut. But if we keep going, now it'll show you, okay, here's my average sleep heart rate, what my optimal bedtime is. It shows you more of the metrics. So if we keep going, it'll show you my average HRV, your average temperature and your deviation from your average temperature, also sleep movements. So it'll show you, did you have little movement, moderate, or frequent movements? And what I'm really interested in is my blood oxygen. So this shows 97% blood oxygen, and it'll also tell you based on your chronotype, what's your, are you a morning type, or so on. So that's interesting to see. And that's what it shows for sleep here. And you could show just the previous day, or you show metrics over the past week or month. But let's go into recovery. And so it'll show here basically some items what you saw just now from the sleep module. And it'll also show you your steps as of yesterday. Again, I'm not really reviewing this from an activity standpoint, but from a sleep standpoint. And recovery, it's pretty typical. Shows you, what your recovery is. I wore this ring probably for a couple of weeks. However, I did take a break, I'd say the past week, so it doesn't have an actual score up here. But after a couple of days, it will show a score. And then if we click here, you'll see this. It gives you meditation sounds. So that could help also with increasing your HRV or lowering your heart rate, which is nice. Like a lot of the other apps have that. Luna, I don't believe Luna does have the built-in, meditation sounds, things like that. But you'll see if we can move it around to different sounds. And then let's click here. And if we go up to the activity tab, it'll show you, how many calories you burned, how much exercise you have. Don't make fun of me. I don't have much on here on that. Distance walked in yards, and you can set goals for yourself too. And it'll show you, if you have any exercise. I haven't exercised with this ring on, so it'll show up exercises here. Now, what I really like about this app and about this ring is that you can go down and you can take manual measurements of things, unlike the other apps. The only other app that does this is RingConn, but Ultrahuman and Oura does not do this. You could manually measure your blood oxygen. So I don't know why the other rings aren't really doing this, but you can manually measure your stress here, your blood oxygen, all your vitals, HRV, your heart rate. I know the other rings do measure heart rate on demand, but that's it. So if let's say a medical condition, you need to keep track of your blood oxygen, right here, you can measure it, which is great. Now, menstrual cycle, I wish I could hide this because obviously I have no need for it, but it doesn't give me the option to hide it. So a couple of quirks I have, when setting it up, I did have, it was in different measurements, like the imperial versus metric. I told it imperial, but it still showed metric for a little while. Also, you'll see up top here, if I woke up early, like 5 a.m., it still shows yesterday's date sometimes. So it wouldn't show until maybe 8 in the morning, wouldn't show the correct date. Now, I did report some of that back, and they actually had an update, a firmware update available within a couple of days. So they were really quick. I know they're new. I think it was in Kickstarter just a couple of months ago. So they're a fairly new ring. I see the ring as having a lot of promise. I actually really like how their charger is laid out. It's unlike any of the other chargers I've seen. So I'll just show a little B-roll of that. And what's really cool is that it uses the sensor light. So the green light, which normally measures your heart rate, and the red light that measures your blood oxygen, it'll blink red on the charger when it's charging, and when it's fully charged, it'll blink green. So that's a really cool feature I like, that sets it apart. And something else that sets it apart is it has that little dimple on the bottom of the ring, just like the Oura ring. The Oura ring is the only one that does that, other than now the Nova ring, which shows if it's correctly positioned, because you're supposed to have the sensors faced up on your finger or on the palm side of your hand. And so that little dimple really helps with that.
Okay, so there was our quick run through of the Nova Rings app. Now just to compare it against, let's say, the Ultrahuman Ring Air, which I wore the same day, and the Luna Ring. As you saw, the Nova Ring said I had 7 hours, 16 minutes of sleep. Now let's go to Ultrahuman, and it said that 7 hours and 10 minutes of sleep. That to me is on par. A few minutes off is basically the same, I think, when it comes to comparing smart rings. Now let's look at Luna, and Luna said 7 hours and 15 minutes. So right now, all three rings are on par with each other. I'd say Nova was pretty accurate there. Now, if we want to dive in a little bit and look at, let's say, my REM sleep, Luna's saying 1 hour and 50 minutes. The Ultrahuman Ring Air is saying my REM was 2 hours and 6 minutes. So there's definitely some difference there. Nova Ring is saying REM sleep was at 1 hour and 25 minutes. So Nova and Luna seem to be more on par with each other, and Ultrahuman was the outlier. Now, then again, we don't know which one's going to be more accurate there, but Luna and Nova seem to be concurring with each other. Average heart rate, we saw that Nova said I had 80 beats per minute for my average heart rate, which is pretty high for sleeping. But let's see what Ultrahuman said. Ultrahuman said my average heart rate was 63. To me, that's a big difference. 17 beats per minute difference. Or I'm sorry, no. Ultrahuman actually said my average was 79 beats per minute. So that's pretty much on par. Let's see what Luna said. My average heart rate to Luna said 77. So Still, I consider them all to be on par. Nova, as a newcomer, I was expecting Nova to struggle a little bit in terms of accuracy, but they're the newest out of all the rings, and they seem to be on par with at least Ultrahuman and Luna, which I hold both rings in high regard. I think they're both great rings. HRV, let's see, Luna said 32 ms for my HRV of sleeping. Ultrahuman didn't give me a single, it gave me a range of 34 to 47. That doesn't really help us here. But the Nova ring said 51. So HRV might be a little bit all over the place, but then again, Nova is the newest one. And I expect, you know, just from when I was talking to them and telling them of a couple of quirks in the app, they sent out an update right away. So hopefully they'll push more updates. Out of all the rings, Ultrahuman, I'd say, pushes out the most updates and the fastest updates, which I really like. I like to see not just new features, but I also like to see, you know, fixing and just continuing to improve. Not even if it's fixing, but just continuing to improve and improve. And hopefully Nova will do the same, considering they're the newest kid on the block, so to speak. Now, Nova actually comes in two different colors. I don't know if I'd call the second one a color. What's really cool is that it comes in this brushed silver color, which the Oura has, and the RingConn had as a on their Gen 1. Their Gen 2 is purely like that reflective silver. My personal taste or preference is for the brushed silver, which is what they have. But then Nova also has this sapphire crystal. It's like a see-through. It's clear. I'll throw a picture up just so you can see it, but basically it's see-through, so you can see like the little circuits and, you know, what it looks like inside the ring, and which is different. I don't see any of the other rings doing that. I personally like the brushed silver the best. So I'm happy because only Oura was doing it, and the RingConn only had it on their Gen 1. Gen 2 doesn't have it. So I really like that about the Nova. I like their little charger, although it doesn't have a puck, a charging case, you know, that closes down like the a portable charger, so to speak. Although it doesn't have a portable charger like the RingConn ring. See, the RingConn you put in here and this charges it while it's closed. Actually, the Oura, the Ultrahuman, the Luna, they don't have that either. They all have these charging little pucks you put the ring in, but this one I think looks really cool, and I like how it blinks blue or red and it shows you whether it's charged or not. Something else I forgot to mention was that the Nova ring actually has a camera gesture control component to it in the app. I personally don't really use those types of features, but it does have that. So while you're wearing the ring, if you shake your hand like that, you could have it take a picture, which is really cool. Although I don't really use it, I still think it's a cool feature to have. I don't think any of the other rings really have that feature, or at least not that I'm aware of. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on the brand new Nova ring. I'll leave a link in the description below. It's not an affiliate link, but if you have any questions on the Nova, happy to answer them, and thanks for watching.